After Ashley broke up with her long-term boyfriend and fiancé, Ethan, in a fit of defiance, she married me. Our marriage was polite, cordial. We lived together like well-mannered roommates, never raising our voices, never truly connecting. There was an unspoken distance between us. Then, Ethan reappeared, back in town, and Ashley started slipping away. Late nights became no nights at all. Whispers of reckless abandon reached my ears. Then there was the undeniable evidence. Her stomach, once strikingly flat, was gently rounded. "Daniel," she said one evening, her voice flat and strangely detached, "you can't give me what I truly need. You can't give me the love I crave. Just let me go." But the moment I started to truly let go, to envision a life beyond her, she seemed to panic. She begged for me to take her back, her pride seemingly shattered. I stood there, casually holding my girlfriend, Ava, a radiant, beautiful light to Ashley's faded darkness. My voice was cool, distant. "I'm sorry, Ashley. I don't do salvage." Ashley stared at the bouquet of roses with utter revulsion. She pinched her nose dramatically, her face contorted in a mask of disgust, and jammed the flowers into the trash can. "The doctor specifically said I'm 3 months pregnant, and that strong scents like perfume and flowers are a no-go. Are you trying to make me sick?" She was pregnant. My initial, instinctive reaction was a dizzying mix of shock and disbelief. The desolation that had been consuming me briefly lifted at the realization that I was going to be a father. I instinctively reached out and embraced her, placing a kiss on her cheek. Then it hit me like a truck. I froze, every cell in my body on high alert. It had been almost 6 months since we'd last been intimate. She had claimed she wanted a platonic marriage, a partnership of minds, not bodies. She accused me of being obsessed with her physically, of being gross, of reducing her to an object of desire. The thought of being intimate with me disgusted her, or so she claimed. How could she be pregnant? "Daniel, be careful. What if you hurt the baby?" She recoiled from my touch, putting space between us, her eyes filled with disdain. She held out her hand, demanding $2,000 for formula and prenatal vitamins. The realization hit me like a tidal wave. My mind swam. I grabbed her arm, my grip tightening until my knuckles turned white, demanding to know who the father was. I had poured every ounce of my being into this marriage. How could I be suddenly thrust into the role of unsuspecting father? "Daniel," she said, her voice dripping with contempt, "the fact that I'm willing to sleep with someone else, but not you, is your problem. You should reflect on that. Not interrogate me, got it?" She crossed her arms, looking down at me with an air of superiority. She snatched my bank card from my hands and turned to leave. I stepped in front of her, relentless, desperate for the truth. "Is it Ethan?" A beat of silence hung in the air, thick with unspoken tension. My heart hammered in my chest. A flicker of surprise crossed Ashley's face. She hadn't expected me to guess so easily. Her cheeks flushed with a mixture of anger and something else. "Shame?" "Daniel," she sneered, "you should know by now. You were never my first choice." A sharp, searing pain ripped through me. I watched as she flung open the door and practically leapt into Ethan's arms. He caught her, and they drove off, leaving me standing alone. Not long after, Ashley posted a picture on social media. An ultrasound image, hands intertwined, adorned with matching promise rings. Ethan commented beneath, "I'll always take care of you and our baby." The comments section exploded with congratulations. "OMG, are you guys back together? Congrats. Make sure to send us a wedding invitation." "I knew it. You were always meant to be together. Daniel never deserved you. When did you guys get divorced? You didn't even tell us." I took a deep breath, trying to compose myself. I clicked like on the post, and then added my own comment. "Congratulations. I hope all your dreams come true. And remember to sign the divorce papers." The comment unleashed a new wave of chaos, mostly from our mutual acquaintances from the drama club, all eager to share in the gossip. I ignored the flurry of notifications. I just looked around at the house, at the carefully decorated nursery I had prepared, and sighed. For 3 years, all I had ever wanted was to be a father, to have a child of my own with Ashley. But Ashley always claimed she was too busy, that as a theater actress, pregnancy would mean professional suicide. I respected her decision, or at least I told myself that I did. I had walked on eggshells, constantly trying to please her because I knew she didn't really love me. Ethan was her first love. He had broken her heart. She had accepted my proposal on the day of his engagement party, wearing a white dress as an act of defiant rebellion against him. I knew she was using me to get back at him, but I had agreed anyway, because I loved her that much. Our marriage was built on a shaky foundation of insecurity and resentment, but I had tried desperately to make it work, showering her with affection and support. Then, 6 months ago, Ethan transferred to our city. Ashley transformed overnight, becoming a different person, completely consumed by a renewed desire for her first love. Maybe it was time to finally let her go. I contacted a lawyer, drew up the divorce papers, and sent them to her phone. I packed a few belongings and returned to my apartment, the one I had owned before the marriage. The marital home had been Ashley's idea, a place we would co-own. Every expense was meticulously calculated, so she wouldn't feel obligated to me. Now, it made things easier. What I didn't anticipate was how swiftly she would sign the papers. Within 5 minutes, I received confirmation that the contract was signed and approved. She called me immediately, demanding that I come over to sign the final documents so we could finalize the divorce. As luck would have it, my boss was looking for me. I couldn't just walk out. "What's the big deal if you miss your job, Daniel? Are you trying to drag this out so Ethan and I can't get married? Don't be pathetic." In the background, I could hear Ethan's voice, a smug and arrogant undertone. "Yeah, Daniel, don't be a sore loser. You were never in the game." The words were like tiny daggers, piercing my heart. Fine, I'd go, to finally end this once and for all. From afar, I could see Ashley, dressed in a vibrant red coat, clinging to Ethan's arm. They leaned into each other, a display of affection that was foreign to me. As I approached, they didn't pull away. "I'm sorry, but I just can't bear to let her go," Ethan said, his voice mocking. He then bent down and kissed her. Ashley giggled, reveling in his affection. When we were together, she never looked at me with such love, never held my arm, never kissed me. If I ever tried to take her hand, she would snatch it away, claiming I was being vulgar, that I embarrassed her. A bitter smile twisted my lips. The rules she had set were only for me. "Hurry up, Daniel. I need to get back and buy things for the baby," she snapped, glaring at me as she threw the bank card into my chest, complaining as she said, "You're such a cheapskate. This card won't even buy formula. What was I thinking when I married you? Ethan is so much better. He's willing to spend whatever I want for me and my baby." I stared at her, stunned. In that instant, I felt grateful for the divorce. The card was my allowance, only $1,500 per month. The rest of my salary was going to her. I thought that even without love, money could make things okay. She had given me a tough reality lesson. I signed the documents, and the divorce was now official. Just as I was about to leave, Ethan grabbed my wrist. His grip was tight, even painful, but his face remained calm. "Daniel, I really have to thank you for taking care of my woman. I don't know what Ashley would have done without you." Despite his words, his eyes shone with a desire to prove that he was always the man for her. My wrist throbbed in his grip, and my face twisted in pain. The scar on my left wrist, the one I got on our honeymoon when a steel pole almost fell on Ashley, was now acting up, a constant reminder of her ingratitude. I instinctively shoved him away. Ethan yelped and fell to the ground. Ashley rushed to his side, her eyes filled with concern. "Are you insane? Ethan was just thanking you. Did you have to do that?" Her glare was intense, but when she noticed the blood trickling down my wrist, her face froze. I laughed sadly, reaching for my wrist, but the blood continued to flow. Ethan attempted an awkward explanation, claiming it was an accident. Ashley's face paled. She moved toward me, reaching out to bandage my wrist, but I stepped back, avoiding her touch. "Miss Ashley," I said coolly, "I'm fine. I'll take care of it myself." She seemed taken aback by my coldness. "She gave a humph and walked away. She grabbed Ethan's arm and left. I stood there, watching the blood drip. My vision blurred, and I passed out. Ashley must have forgotten that I had a severe phobia of blood. During the last time I needed bandaging, I fainted twice just from seeing the blood. I awoke in a hospital bed. The curtain around my bed was pulled open, and Ava was there. When she saw that I was awake, she moved to call the nurse, but I stopped her. What was she doing here? I came with a friend for their certificate signing. I found you lying on the ground, blood everywhere, so I called 911. She grabbed her phone to call Ashley. They were probably so busy snuggling with each other, they wouldn't even care. I shook my head and said that we were divorced. She looked stunned and screamed, "Daniel, don't hurt yourself because of the divorce." I looked at her, speechless, and explained that I only had a blood phobia, and for her not to guess randomly. After the nurse changed my medicine, we left the hospital together. We were from the same research group, and she was my classmate. We had worked together for 2 years, and our relationship was better than most friends. Now that my love was gone, I decided to put all my efforts into the lab. I worked with my chemicals non-stop. During lunch, I flipped through my phone and saw Ashley's wedding invitation. She and Ethan were getting married. The students all sent their congratulations in the comments. When I came back to reality, Ava was looking at me with furrowed brows, holding my water and lunch. "It's been so long since the divorce. Are you still going to be sad for her?" More than sad. I felt as though I was ripped off. She saw my sarcasm and patted my shoulder, leading me to the barbecue restaurant to eat. After a few shots of alcohol, I felt hot, and my vision was blurry, but I still pretended to be calm. Her long, slender white hand slid between the spaces of my fingers, and we held hands. "After all this time, have you seen me yet? Daniel, you were running after her. Shouldn't I be chasing you?" I looked at her, confused, not understanding what she meant. Ava was my classmate. Before she came to the lab, we had never met. I didn't even know she existed. That summer, my bike tire was stabbed. You let me borrow your bike and walked home. Later, my classmates cornered me in the alley, but you came and chased them away, and you took me to the hospital. She gave a smile and looked at me. "I wanted to add you on WeChat to repay you, but you said you had someone and didn't want to disappoint them." At that moment, the alcohol in my brain cleared up. I remembered everything. That girl was her. And they happened twice. From that day forward, I asked about you. I later found out that you were married, and I suppressed my feelings. Now that you're divorced, you should turn back and look at me. My heart trembled, but I backed away, considering that I was now a divorced man. I didn't answer her words, but instead kept drinking. I felt dizzy, and my legs were all over the place. My body crashed into a warm hug. When I woke up, my waist was sore, and I was unclothed. I was also hugging Ava. I shuddered as I thought about the pieces of the night. Ava also seemed to feel my discomfort and woke up, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm going to treat you well. I'll be responsible." Her tears fell on her lips, and she gave me a soft kiss. And with that, we were in a relationship. During the year I dated Ava, I saw how miserable I had been. Ashley always came first. She always made me wash her feet. Now, I understand how healthy it is to be in a relationship that treats you as an equal. At the end of the year, we both met the parents and set a wedding date. Today was the day to take the wedding photos. I picked the most expensive one, and Ava tried it on. Just as we were about to take photos, we heard someone fighting in the next photo studio. When we walked over, it was Ethan and Ashley. He was wearing a white suit, and his face was filled with impatience. "Look at how fat you've gotten. You can't even fit into the smallest wedding dress. You're embarrassing me." I looked stunned. Weren't they already married? Why were they still taking wedding photos? Ashley stood there awkwardly, biting her lip, and tears fell. She had gained a lot of weight, most likely due to pregnancy and childbirth. When we were together, she never shed a tear. It was always her looking down on me. Now, she had changed roles. I looked away and turned to Ava. I gave her a reassuring look. Nothing would stop me from marrying her. The photographer moved us for the photos. I could feel someone staring at me. Then, my wrist tightened, and I was almost dragged down. Ashley was there, tears in her eyes. Her left hand was clutching her wedding dress, and her right hand was turning blue as it tightly gripped my sleeve. Daniel, it's only been a year since the divorce. How can you be with someone else? I felt speechless. Wasn't she the same way, cheating before we were divorced? How could she accuse me? Ethan, who was not far away, walked over with an expression of annoyance on his face, saying in a threatening tone for her to not get out of line. Ashley, if you embarrass me here, wait until I get home and beat you. I could feel Ashley shaking at that line. She looked scared. I then noticed that her small arms with lace gloves had purple bruises. Daniel, you really are persistent. My wife must be so attracted to you. Wait until I get back and beat you. After he said that, Ashley's body was shaking. They then walked out of my vision. Ava tilted her head and looked at me with a questioning look, asking if I felt as though something was wrong. Ashley was always arrogant. How come she's acting so scared? I felt as though this was weird as well. I didn't think anymore and took photos with Ava. When Ava went to change her next set of clothes, Ashley was suddenly standing in front of me, wearing a red wedding dress. Daniel, I remember that you love me the most. Let's go, okay? She looked like a bird, with a plea in her eyes. Before I could reject her, I heard someone walking toward me. Ashley then ran into the bathroom. Ethan looked at me, asking if I had seen Ashley. Everyone knows that you would do anything for her. If I didn't marry someone else back then, you would have thought that Ashley would be with you? Don't even think about it. He had hit me with the truth and pulled off my mask of shame. I calmed down and looked at him. I said to him and to Ashley, I already have someone I love. You need to take care of your wife and don't appear in front of me again. I then stood next to Ava, who had put on her wedding dress. I left to not get involved. After we took the exterior photos, I then realized that Ava's eyes were red and she was crying in secret. I thought you were. Before she could say any more, I kissed her. I knew that she was thinking of the divorce, and I told her that I only cared about her. To put her mind at ease, I decided to set the wedding date earlier and get married as soon as possible, which was to complete our love. The location would be her favorite lawn. The students who had made fun of us on social media had come, and everyone looked around. Daniel, you're lucky to marry such a beautiful wife. She's luckier than your ex-wife. Before she could finish her sentence, one of the students, one of Ashley's friends, interrupted her. She wanted to disgust me on purpose. I smiled and said, her cheating and getting pregnant was her choice. It has nothing to do with me. She then said, do you know that Ethan has abused her? She's trying to run away but can't. How can you leave her alone? I gave her a death stare until she looked away. I then said, if you think she's pitiful, you can go save her yourself. And anyone who mentions the past, don't blame me for not being nice. The classmates turned away, not looking at me. Soon, the spotlight shined and Ava walked out in a white wedding dress, making her way through the people, determined to come to me. I could see the tears in her eyes. The cold ring was put on our fingers, and we kissed. The pastor said the vows, and my eyes were clear, and I had a smile. I do. Suddenly, a scream could be heard, and a woman in a wedding dress stood at the end of the stage. I don't. Ashley walked to the center of the stage and pushed Ava away. Ava nearly fell over. Ashley reached out and kissed me. I backed away, almost knocking over the flower stands. Daniel, I'm the one you love the most, right? The only reason you're marrying her is to anger me and make me come back to you, right? You've succeeded this time. I love you. Can we get back together? Is she insane? I practically ripped her off me, my protective instincts kicking in. I rushed to Ava's side, shielding her with my body. The wedding, our beautiful ceremony, was descending into chaos. Rage surged through me. I yelled for security to remove her, but Ashley was like a tenacious weed, clinging to me with a terrifying intensity. She grabbed the microphone, her voice booming through the speakers, shaking with desperation. Daniel, I was wrong. I hurt you. Can't you forgive me? Can't we start over? The guests murmured, their faces a mix of shock, confusion, and that morbid curiosity that feeds gossip. My fellow drama club members were in their element, whispering behind cupped hands. I couldn't comprehend it. How could someone so concerned with appearances, so meticulously calculated, suddenly abandon all pretense and expose our private history to the world? I wouldn't let her disrupt our lives anymore. I couldn't let her derail our wedding any further. I'm already with someone I love, Ashley. Leave me alone. Not everyone is like you, sleeping with someone else while married. The color drained from her face, turning it a ghastly white. She stumbled back, shaking her head in disbelief. Her voice trembled with a strange mix of panic and wounded vulnerability. Daniel, you never used to talk to me like that. That was the past. Now, she meant less to me than the friends and family who were seated below. I comforted Ava, whispering reassurances in her ear. I signaled to the security guards, instructing them to remove Ashley and bar her from the entire property. Daniel, please, just help me. I can't be with him anymore. Take me away with you. Let's start over. She struggled against the guards, kicking her legs wildly, her pleas a desperate blend of supplication and despair. Her voice, choked with tears, faded as she was dragged away. My parents, visibly shaken, tried to restore order among the guests. I soothed Ava, offering apologies and explanations. We led her back to the bridal suite. Who could have predicted that she would crash our wedding? After gathering ourselves, we summoned the officiant and prepared to resume the ceremony. When the wedding concluded, we came down to toast. Daniel, Ashley is apparently still waiting for you outside. Aren't you going to see her? The classmate was looking at me with a weird look on their face, then they continued. I heard that Ethan is looking for her with the intent to kill. I'm sure he'll come over here soon. Those were their issues, and I wasn't going to get involved. All I had to do was protect Ava, to protect her and the baby from that kind of toxicity. We finished and said goodbye to all the guests, and I went to the front of the hotel. I saw Ethan pulling and yanking at Ashley, and they were arguing. When the car drove close by, I heard Ethan talking to the people around him that she was sick and mentally unstable. I'm not. Stop trying to control me. I'm normal. I'm not sick. No one would believe her no matter what she said. Ethan was well dressed, while Ashley looked ragged and unkempt. She saw the car and ran over to it, but the car kept driving. After the wedding, Ava and I went to Hawaii. In order to help her forget about the problems, I asked my boss for an extra 2 weeks off. However, a month later, we found out that she was pregnant. In order to make sure that the baby was safe, we didn't tell anyone. I stayed by her side every day, hoping that she would deliver safely. One day at the ultrasound, while looking at the baby, I accidentally ran into someone while paying for the medicine. When we looked up, we were both stunned. Daniel, it's been a while. I didn't want to catch up. I saw the amount of people and decided to just stay in line. She understood that I wasn't going to leave and spoke in a soft voice. Did you know? I went to the hospital, and they told me I have schizophrenic disorder. There's always a risk for me to start doing crazy things. It was Ethan. Every day, he puts me down and reminds me of our baby that died. That's how I became like this. I felt something in me go down. The baby was dead. Ethan was always dressing up, so I didn't think he would do things like that. Ashley looked down, showing me the bruises on her arms, and said that Ethan did that when they argued. He said that he loved me. That's why he hits me. But you never hit me. You never even bruised me. My mind also seemed to remember everything from the past. I was too scared to injure her, and I was always protecting her. After the divorce, I knew how dumb I was. Ethan was with me to take all my money and get me to pay off his debt. When I got into the accident, he just left me alone. Her eyes looked empty, completely different than before. Tears started forming. I did whatever I wanted because of your love. Will you give me one more chance? The line started getting longer, so I didn't want to argue. I just didn't answer. However, it looked like she wasn't going to stop. She waited for me after I paid and started following me, no matter what I did. She looked hurt all over, like she had been through hell. Those nurses and people were giving me weird looks and thinking that I was the reason. Enough. How long are you going to follow me? I yelled and took out my phone, hoping it would scare her. Are you going to call Ethan and have him drag you back? When I mentioned Ethan, her expression changed immediately. She ran out of the hospital with the bag. I then quickly went into the ultrasound room and supported Ava. We couldn't have anything happen to her since she was pregnant. Because Ashley's baby had died, I was afraid that she would do something to Ava. I quit my job to stay by her side. When I got back to my house, I had 5 messages from Ashley, all asking to see me. The last one was a picture of her downstairs with a small tank top. How did she know where I lived? The sky started getting darker and thunder started happening. Raindrops started falling on the windows. Ava went to close the window and jumped back because she saw the woman from down below. "Husband, is that your ex-wife?" I decided that there was no point in hiding things. She then handed me a blanket and a jacket for her, saying that it was cold and that she was scared that she would catch a cold. I told her to stay inside, went downstairs, and gave the blanket and jacket to her. Ashley was super excited and looked like a girl in love. I wanted to know how she found me. "Daniel, I had to beg for me to get your address. Are you just going to keep hiding from me?" I didn't want to see her. The rain got heavier. After I gave the jacket to her, I was shivering and was about to leave, but she held my clothes and gave me a hug. I remembered the pain in my wrist. I pushed her away. "Miss Ashley, is your relationship with Ethan bad? So you want to mess up my marriage? Do you want to have an affair with me?" Her face was pale. It was hard to tell if it was tears or the rain. "I'm so sorry, husband. I didn't do it on purpose. I was jealous and thought you had a happy life with a good wife while I was struggling with Ethan's abuse. Can we try again, please?" I thought that I couldn't get involved because I had a child. I gave her the jacket and umbrella. That was the only thing that I could do. "You can call the cops, but you can't keep following me." "I'm sorry, I can't help." Her body shook, but I couldn't do anything. "Ashley, we got divorced a long time ago. Stop following me." She lost her strength, fell to the ground, and started crying. I didn't turn back and ran into the rain. I didn't want her to know where I lived, so I stopped the elevator on a lower floor. When I got home, she was gone. Ava was going to deliver in 2 months. Today, we went to the baby store to buy clothes. She looked like she couldn't wait to hold the baby. She touched her stomach with a gentle look. I was focused on driving so nothing bad would happen. There was a car behind us, and they wouldn't stop following us. "Honey, let's get away from him since he's probably crazy." I then sped up and got far away from her. However, in 2 minutes, they were back. Someone crashed into the car. Ava screamed and covered her stomach. Before I could come back to reality, the trunk was hit as well. He probably was crazy. "Hey, you crazy bastard. What do you think you're doing?" The crazy driver hit the passenger side of the car, and Ava lost her chips, and her legs curled up because she was in pain. I then saw a puddle of water form below her. She was going to deliver. I had to make sure she was okay, and he was putting our lives in danger. I grabbed the wheel and dialed 911. "My wife is going to deliver." Before I could say anything, I was hit again and almost crashed into the side. I was sweating and in pain. "Honey, call for the ambulance. Please hurry." I looked back and saw the man driving. It was Ashley, but she didn't have a license. How could she be here? The car then crashed into the side, and the wheel flew out of my hands. Everything then spun. My face was injured, and I could smell burning and chemicals. Ava was next to me and had blood all over her. Her head was to the side. No matter what I did, she wouldn't wake up. "Daniel, help me." I could see Ashley in the mirror, with blood coming from her forehead. She was on the ground, but she was the one that did this. My phone flew away. I bit my lips and forced myself to wake up. I crawled out to get help for Ava. "Help. We need to call an ambulance. My wife is going to deliver." The people who had stopped all quickly said that they'll call for one. Ava looked like she was dying. I was so worried. The ambulance that was at the highway exit drove over and helped get her on the stretcher. As I was driving with Ava, I heard Ashley speak. "Daniel, I'm sorry, but I was jealous and never meant to do this. Please forgive me." Ashley only had a scratch on her forehead, and she was asking me to help. She did this on purpose. Her baby died, so she wanted Ava to not have a child. How could I forgive her? She fell to the ground and started crying. I put all my focus on Ava and didn't look at her again. We got to the hospital, and I went to go wait in the operating room with her. I couldn't stop thinking that she would have died because of me. After 40 minutes, the nurse came out with the baby. Congratulations. It's a girl. The mother and the baby are both safe. I then relaxed. All my energy left my body, and I went unconscious. The smell of the hospital woke me up, and I saw 2 cops who were asking about the situation. I then found out that not only did Ashley not have a license, but the car was stolen. The suspect stole his car and crashed into your car. I then went to the police station and told them I wanted to charge her. After some arguing, I saw them leave. I went to the hospital and saw Ava playing with the baby. She looked very happy. After I told her about Ashley, she asked what she was going to be charged with. I'm going to hire the best lawyer and make sure that she goes to prison. She got out of the hospital after the baby turned 1 month old. The baby was doing good, and we were playing every day. After the baby turned 100 days old, I got a call from the mental hospital. Ashley was in danger. Before she died, she wanted to see me one last time. Ava heard the message and decided to bring the baby. At the mental hospital, Ashley looked pale and weak. When she saw the baby, she teared up. Daniel, if our baby was still alive, they would be this big. I'm going to die, and you still aren't going to forgive me? I couldn't live without you. I thought you were the only one who could save me, but it was all my fault. I did bad things and shouldn't have let it get this far. Please forgive me and say that you still love me. You always did and always will, right? I shook my head. We aren't together, and there is no if. I hope you can be a good person in your next life and stop playing with people's feelings. I helped Ava and the baby, and we left. The nurse started calling for us, but I didn't turn back. Her life didn't have anything to do with me. I was going to live a new life.